Hello, my name's Simon Dibinz. I am the Director of International for Unite the Union, one of the largest trade unions in the UK and Ireland. And I bring you greetings and best wishes for this important conference. I'm really sorry that I'm unable to be there in person. We've been with delegations to northeast Syria on a number of occasions now, and it's always great to be there in person. But we send you our solidarity and best wishes for this conference. As I say, I look after the international work for Unite the Union. We have over 1 million members represented in many, many multinational companies and different sectors of the economy. So our international work, in fact, not just for Unite, but for all trade unions, has always been extremely important. And we've understood why international treaties and international politics are of such relevance to working people, because they define the way states relate to each other and really create the framework in which ordinary people live and operate. We always understand from the point of view of my union how important it is, therefore, to be engaged internationally. And we have very strong relations with sister unions in Asia, in Africa, in North and South America, and of course throughout Europe and other regions as well, including the Middle East. I think as a UK trade unionist, we also have a unique understanding that our country, the country we come from in the UK, has played such a important and very often negative role in world affairs and how things have developed. For example, as a movement, we very much stand in solidarity with the Palestinians, and we understand it was the British Balfour Declaration that really led to many of the problems that exist today in the partition that followed. We understand the role that the UK played in the way in which Pakistan and India were divided, and so much blood was spilt in the birth of those independent countries. And of course, we are acutely aware of the role that the UK and France played in really dividing up the Middle East in the period when the Ottoman Empire was collapsing at the end of the First World War, and the way in which British and French interests led to the creation of what are today the states of Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and so on. So we are acutely aware of our history, and from a trade union point of view, really do see the problems that the British state has created and left in its wake, and as part of its legacy of involvement in these areas. So really, to address the specific issue of the Lausanne Treaty in 1923, which effectively, as we understand it, fixed the borders of current-day Turkey and ended the possibility and broke the promises and closed the door on the idea of any proper independent Kurdish state. It was obviously quite outrageous the way in which it was done, in order to really look after the interests of the Western powers and fit them together with Turkey and so on. And the Kurds were left stateless with no real home of their own, so to speak, and as minorities in all of the new political entities in which they lived. We know and we're aware the Turkish state denied the existence of the Kurds, and the decades and decades of vicious and brutal repression, the state being founded on a very ethno-nationalist perspective. We know the Kurds in Syria were a minority and were persecuted, and the dominant regime and ethnic group looked to marginalize them. We know what happened in Iraq and the treatment that the Kurdish population received at the hands of who's Saddam Hussein and his regime. And we're very aware of what's happening in Iran today as well. So to the specific question, does the concept of democratic nation as espoused by the Kurdish political movement offer a solution now to the injustices that were done over many, many decades to the Kurdish people? And does the autonomous administration of northeast Syria offer a solution to some of those problems, a model that can be seen? We would say absolutely yes, 100%. Our delegation saw firsthand the reality on the ground, the fact that the autonomous administration has really worked to create an inclusive society, a tolerant society, a democratic society, one in which women enjoy full rights, one in which no ethnic minorities are discriminated against, and one in which there is proper living together and a common perspective of diverse peoples and built on respect and inclusion and peace, solidarity and equality. We've seen that in reality on the ground being built in what are some of the most difficult and dangerous circumstances. Everyone is fully aware of the heroic role that the SDF forces played, the YPG and the YPJ, in the defeat of the evil regime that ISIS was controlling and implementing through much of the region at the time. And the peoples of the region and the world should always be grateful and feel indebted to the huge sacrifices that were made. It was therefore astonishing to see how a new society was being built on the principles that I mentioned before. They're very much the principles we hold dear: equality, peace, tolerance, inclusiveness. As a trade union movement, they are very much our founding and core principles as well. And I think to really conclude, colleagues, what the concept of democratic nation really points towards, the ideas as many of us understand him from the writings of Mr. Öcalan, is that we should really no longer look to solve these issues by changing borders or within the confines of the nation state, and by really looking away from trying to create a new nation state that would suffer from the same, probably from the same defects and problems, because that is what nation states actually do. The idea of building a democratic nation, which includes all of the different ethnicities within it and all of the different groups within it on an equal, democratic, fair basis, is really the way to move forward. And that way, if we look at the teachings and writings of Mr. Öcalan and understand that moving borders is not the key thing, it's about establishing and anchoring those firm democratic principles. And if we follow democratic confederalism as a model of building across borders and dealing with issues in the way we need to, I'm absolutely 100% that offers, convinced that offers a good way forward for a region of the world where it is very diverse, where the old nation state borders really make no sense and have caused many of the problems and tensions by trying to impose artificial borders and boundaries. If we would pay more attention to trying to build more inclusive societies based on these principles, I think it would offer a way to resolve the many, many problems that exist in the region. And I think the autonomous area of northeast Syria has been a beacon and a model that others in the region can follow in order to move out of the current chaos and appalling situation the region finds itself in, and to move forward to a better future. We salute the people of the region in northeast Syria for the heroic efforts they've made, for the type of society that they're you've been trying to build there, and we will always stand in solidarity with you going forward in these difficult times. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the very best for the rest of your conference, and I look forward to be able to meet some of you again in person when we're bringing a delegation later in the year. All the best. Thank you very much.